everyone, welcome back to my Lenormand channel. Thank you as always for tuning back in. Here we are with another Pick-A-Card reading, and for this reading I want us to focus on an important message that you need to hear now. You might want to leave this open-ended and see where the reading takes you, or you might want to frame this within a specific area of your life. The key is really an important message that you need to tune into right now. I don't know how it's going to affect you. The cards will tell us. And the idea is really to take away this insight. I've got 5 objects here. I've got 3 stones and 2 charms. This is the cat's eye stone. This is the purplish Brandberg stone. And the tiger's eye, a smaller tiger's eye stone. And I've got a scissors and a key. You might want to pause the video if you want to focus on this area that you might tune into, or the charm or stone that you want to resonate with for this reading. And as always, you will find the timestamps in the description box, and I will see you in your reading. Okay, Cat's Eye group, here we are with the Titania's Fortune Cards deck and your lovely stone. I want to do a 9-card portrait for you. I want to tune into what it is you need to hear. What is this important message for you to tune into right now? My deck is always shuffled between readings, so I like to sort of just shuffle it lightly to align with the energy and the question, and we're good to deal out your portrait. Okay, Cat's Eye group, here are your cards. These are beautiful cards. Every single one of them is successful and lucky and bright and positive. It is really only the cross that can sometimes be challenging. But when it is surrounded by all of these beautiful cards, the positive aspects of the cross come out. And they have to do with the idea of deeper life lessons, matters of destiny, important matters. And what's interesting is that we also have the key and clover. And both of these cards are connected with this idea of luck and fortune and these mysterious underlying things that are happening in your life. So with these 3 figuring in your portrait, we can say, Cat's Eye group, that you are in some kind of maybe spiritual turning point. Something deeper is happening for you, and this might be a time when it comes out. Now, what's interesting is that the key is your first card. The key is a card of solutions and brilliance. It has to do with intelligence and insight. And of course, it has to do with opening doors. The tree is another very beautiful card, and it figures right in the middle of your portrait. The tree is about growth, evolution. It's also really good for health and vitality. And it also has a spiritual element. There is that sense of the wisdom of trees. And what is beautiful is when we see it with the key, it has to do with achieving a very important goal. So right from the get-go, Cat's Eye group, we see that you're in for a lot of achievement and a lot of success. And I would say a key message for you is to really trust your life, trust what is happening. Things are working out in your highest good. If you are in a situation where it doesn't feel that way, then these cards are definitely calling on you to trust what is going on and to know that you are well on your way to achieving some very important goals. Now, to finish this first diagonal, we have the road on the other side of the tree. And this really confirms what I said. The road is a little bit open-ended. Sometimes it's changeable. It's not really clear where we're heading. It's adventurous in that sense. And it also has to do with choices and sometimes being at crossroads. Certainly when the cross is nearby, it can point to that. But on the other side of the beautiful key tree combination, we are looking at the idea of you being absolutely on the right path. So definitely, again, trust where you are heading. You are heading in the right direction. Do not doubt yourself. Do not hesitate. Just have faith that you are doing the right thing. And also, very importantly, have faith in your own abilities. Trust that you've got the solutions within you. You've got what it takes to succeed. Really have faith in your ability to pull out miracles, and you will pull out miracles. Now, in the second diagonal here, we have the cross, tree, and sun. This is another fabulous combination. The sun is one of the brightest cards of the deck. It has to do with all-around victory, success on a broad scale. And with the tree and cross, You are destined for success. So I really do not wish for you to doubt yourself or to, feel like you're not doing the right thing. You are absolutely doing the right thing. And I think this is a really important message for you, Cat's Eye Group. You are on your way to achieving your goals. Maybe with the tree and the cross, there is this feeling that things are taking a bit of time, or with the road, it feels like, well, when do you arrive? You're wondering, when will I achieve this? Well, you will. Okay, just be a bit patient. Be patient a while longer and you will absolutely get there. The key, anchor, and sun is a confirmation of that. All three cards are success cards. So when they figure together, it is a very clear message. Have confidence in yourself. Again, the anchor is very much about a sense of security and strength. And with the sun being all around positive and the key being about brilliance, intelligence, and solutions, it's another confirmation that you have absolutely what it takes to achieve these goals. Don't hesitate. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in your ability. And also, I would say when the anchor shows up, it's a very good reminder for setting boundaries. Also, when the house shows up and maybe a few other cards like possibly the tree and also the mountain. So have boundaries, okay? Don't let negative energy come through. Don't let your doubts go through. Really discipline your mind towards positivity because you've got absolutely what it takes to achieve this. Now, the rider, tree, and clover. Yet another beautiful combination. The right-hand tree is a bit like the tree and road. It's this idea of moving forward, keep on going, keep moving forward. And the clover confirms, just like the key and sun and anchor confirm, that you are absolutely on the right track to achieve this goal, or to go after what it is you're after, or perhaps you were focusing on a specific area of your life. So yes, you are absolutely on the right track. Again, the clover is really helpful to remind you to not doubt yourself. Really have faith in your ability and just be a bit patient for things to unfold. The cross, child, and road is a powerful message here. It tells us that you're in for a new beginning. You are on your way to turning the page. Something new and important is ahead for you. You might need to make some choices, but I have no doubts that you are absolutely on the right track to making the right choice. And I have no doubts that you will absolutely do what is right for you. So prepare for a new beginning. This can be important. This can be a matter of destiny, something that affects your life in a big way. So prepare for this adventure and just be patient for it to come through. Now, key, rider, and cross. Yet another very powerful message for goal achievement, for achievement in any area. And really with the rider and cross, a bit like the cross and road, this is an important path what you're on. You've got everything it takes to cross this. You've got everything it takes to achieve this. Keep moving forward. Anchor, tree, child, very powerful, very strong. Anchor and tree, very solid combination, and the child points to a new beginning. So you are blooming, Cat's Eye Group. There is definitely a message of growth and evolution, this idea of fresh energy and also insight, light. I'm seeing a lot of this fresh energy that is opening up all sorts of opportunities for you. So a very beautiful combination here. I would also say that you want to be patient with yourself as you discover this new thing or take first steps in this goal or whatever direction you're after. Really be there for yourself, okay? Again, there is a strong message of supporting yourself, having faith in yourself. Be your own friend, be your own support here. This is very important. And finally, we have the sun, clover, and road, and this is yet another beautiful combination, confirming that you are absolutely on the right track and that your track is leading to the success that you're after. The sun and clover is a combination of all-around success because each of these cards is very bright on its own, in its own right. And so when they show up together, we have all the more bright energies coming through for you. And with the road, maybe you don't know what is ahead. Maybe you're taking a chance because of the clover, but definitely this will lead to success. So really, Cat's Eye Group, there is an abundance of bright messages here for you. I would say the key takeaway is really to have faith in your ability, rely on yourself, support yourself, pull out those miracles that you know you have in you, and keep moving forward because you are absolutely on the right track. If anything, it's a matter of a bit of time, a bit of patience, maybe crossing into this new beginning or this opportunity and taking these first steps. Everything else is just so beautiful for you, Cat's Eye Group. Stop doubting yourself, be there for yourself, and embrace this wonderful opportunity. And most importantly, embrace your talents, your gifts, this brilliance that you have in you. An all-around beautiful message, Cat's Eye Group. Let me know where this is figuring for you, what you're making of it, and if you are taking these important messages to heart. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm looking forward to our next reading together. Hello, Scissors Group. Here we are with your reading and your lovely charm. I've got my cards. This is my own deck, the Silhouette deck. And for your reading, Scissors Group, I feel like doing an hourglass, a large hourglass. As always, my deck is shuffled between readings, and so I'm good to just shuffle a bit to focus the intention to start, and we're good to deal out your cards. Okay, Scissors Group, here is your very interesting hourglass. I'm really liking the messages in here, and you're going to tell me, well, there's the whip, there's the fox, and the bird, and the mouse. What do you mean these are good messages? Well, there is the sun right in the middle, and as soon as I started to deal out the fox and anchor and book here, I had a feeling of what this is going to be about. In a nutshell, Scissors Group, you're going to see through someone's intentions. You are going to figure out what one person or a certain situation or maybe a few people are about, and you're going to be able to put them in their lane. So there can be a bit of a confrontation. We're seeing a situation here, but you see through this. So this is a very important message for you, Scissors Group. You are going to figure them out. Let's get into the details of the lines. I like to start with the central row and then go into the rows, and then we do the columns and the mini portraits. There's so much to read in this hourglass. So Scissors Group, fox, sun, and mouse. So both the fox and mouse are characters who hide stuff. The fox, as you know, very tricky, very clever, a trickster, and the mouse tends to be associated with lies, deceit, and also the lack of trust. So we're looking at a wobbly situation here, someone whom you're not feeling, but because of the beautiful sun in the middle, you're able to shine the light on their intentions, and you see exactly what they're about. So this can be very exciting. This can be like an aha moment where you sort of save yourself and you see through this very clearly. I think it's possibly a person because we have the woman in the cards, but it can also be a situation, and perhaps the woman is a helpful person in this context. As we build the lines, we'll come to the final conclusion. But clearly, from the get-go, you shine light on someone's intentions. You see through them. You see that they are not being transparent, and it's almost like this burden is completely lifted off your shoulders. It's like, oh, that's what it's about. And it's like, oh, forget that. So the sun is so bright and powerful that the negativity of this person or their intentions, it doesn't even get to you. So a very, very bright combination and a really good message. The top row, anchor, woman, a bird, and bear. So we're seeing two strong cards here. We've got the anchor and bear, and we've got the woman and bird. So this can be an important conversation that happens with this person. There is an importance to her. She seems to have quite a bit of influence. She could be, someone in authority. I'm thinking the bear, can bring that out. But the key here is really the conversation. And we'll see in the mini portrait that this conversation brings up something. It highlights things. So I would say, Scissors Group, pay attention to this specific person in your life. She might be the person who is hiding stuff, but somehow I'm not really sold on this interpretation. I feel she might be a third party who maybe gives you clues or somehow turns your attention in a certain way, and that sort of flips things for you, and you're like, oh, I see, and you're able to figure it out. So an important conversation is ahead with her, so make time for this person and, be there. Now, in the bottom row, we have also an interesting mix of cards. We've got the Book, Tree, House, and then the Whip. So, Book and Tree is very much about a mystery or something that is closed off. Something is yet unknown. And then Tree and House are slower cards. And then, bam, you have the Whip. So, again, I'm seeing this energy of something being revealed. It is very much the Whip that helps crack things open. And the thing about the Tree and House is that you're going to have to be patient. So that is interesting because the Fox and Mouse can also be slower cards in this way. So it's like you have to wait it out until it comes through. So be patient with that. It is going to come through. And once it does, it's going to boil over. And we've got the Whip in this situation here in this right-hand side mini portrait. But guess what? That's what needs to happen. It needs to come out into the open, and it's going to be so relieving, and it's going to be like, finally, we know what this person is about. And it's very possible, Scissors Group, that you've known all along, but you couldn't make the case, you couldn't make the point, maybe within this environment represented by the house, and finally it comes out, and it's like, oh, finally we know what this person is about or what this situation is about. That is very possible. The thing about the bottom line is that there is an emphasis on the patience that is needed for this to come through. But boy, does it come through with the Whip on the other side of this. Now, like I said, the house can represent a certain environment. It can be the home. Maybe this is a situation happening inside your home in a very intimate and personal way. And the house can represent a smaller group. So like your team on the job, maybe another group that you're part of, sort of a social environment, but like a closer knit environment. And that's where we see this issue happening or coming out. Okay, let's move on to the columns. Anchor and Book. Same as Tree and Book. There is this idea that something is closed off and that it needs to wait. And the Woman in Tree can also be someone you are waiting on. So the Tree is a slower card, but it's also a card of wisdom. And with the Woman, I think she proves to be supportive, just like we have the Anchor and Woman. So there's quite a bit of consistency within these four cards. So it confirms the messages that we're interpreting. So be patient. This woman comes through and she helps out or gives clues with the information. Very nice combination here. Bird and House is an announcement. I take this as a specific combination that points to an announcement, news that is made, news that is shared within this environment here. And the Bear and Whip, very clearly, no room for much other interpretations. This is a confrontation. The Bear is very much a card of power and energy. It can be associated with an enemy or a competition, and that very much comes through with a card like the Whip. So we see here that something is held off, and then it is announced, and it brings about a confrontation. Remember the sun in the middle of everything. Finally, this is out in the open and we know what it's about. So really, I think that is a super message. To be honest with you, Scissors Group, there is a situation like that in my life. And if this were my reading, I would be really, really happy to see it because I want this situation blown out of the water. I want honesty and transparency to come through. But I'm waiting on it because it depends on certain other individuals. So a beautiful set of cards, in my opinion. Okay, let's move on to the mini portraits. So the one on the left is the one with the fox in the middle here. And this is where I really feel that the fox, apart from indicating that there's a situation that lacks transparency, in this mini portrait here, I really think it can come to your advantage because it is a card of discretion and diplomacy, and it helps you observe and wait for this news to come through. The Anchor, Fox and Tree is very much about, holding off, being patient, waiting for the right time. And the Book, Fox, Woman can indeed refer to this woman, and possibly that she is holding things off and away, that she's the one who's hiding the information. If she is the person whom we end up confronting or the issue is about. But she could also be someone who has clues. Maybe she's going to share a secret. The Fox and Book may well represent that. So again, I think the Fox really comes to your advantage here, gives you the idea of being still and observant and diplomatic, patient for the right time. Now, in the central mini portrait, we have the beautiful sun. This is an all-around set of positive combinations here. The woman's sun and house shines the light. There's brightness in this environment, and the tree, sun, and bird points to good news. Again, in the context of the confrontation here and the challenging right-hand side mini portrait, the sun here really brings out this idea of relief. Like I'm saying, finally, this thing is out. Finally, we know what this is about, and it can create that sense of relief. And in the last mini portrait here, we have the concentration of the more challenging cards. We have the whip, the mouse, and the bird. When we see these together, there is clearly an argument, a confrontation like we saw with the bear. It can also be gossip that comes out. There can be issues between people. There is a situation, my friend, and it does come out mainly because of the whip. And then the house, mouse and bear suggests possibly a serious loss, or this person here, if it is a person, is like not welcome and they are seen as the bad guy type of thing. And again, I want to insist that in the context of this reading, this is actually a welcome message of relief, because this situation or this person is finally blown out of the water. So this is very much the mini portrait where there is like, the time when things come out and finally we see through the deception, we see through the lies or the lack of transparency, the bad intentions, they're all coming out here. And because of the house in this mini portrait, it's very probable that more people know about this. So not just you, but there can be a number of people who become aware of what this situation or this person was about. And, finally truth comes out. And that's also clearly coming through the bird and house, which is a bit of an announcement here. So again, more people are likely to find out about what the situation was about. So I think this is a beautiful set of cards, Scissors Group. The idea that finally something is coming out into the surface. Finally something it shines through and we see through it and it's blown out of the water. And I think it's going to be really relieving for you. So this is the important message for you today. Rest assured that this is going to come out. It's going to come out at the right time. Just be patient. Some pieces are coming together. Things are, falling into place, and more people are going to know. So in a way, there is going to be justice and fairness. This is going to blow over and be blown out of the water, and you will be relieved from this. Finally, we are shining light on this. Finally, the truth is going to come out, and this person or the situation is going to be known for what it truly is, for, I would say, the bad intentions that is connected to it or to this person. So let me know how you like this reading, Scissors Group. Again, I think this is very exciting. It certainly would be if it applied to me. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts and your comments. Very best of luck. Again, be smart and patient. It is happening. And until our next reading together, thank you so much for watching and take very good care of yourself. Okay, Brandberg, here we are with the deck. This is Titania's fortune cards and your beautiful stone. For your reading, I want to do a medium-sized diamond. I haven't done this layout in a bit, and it's sort of just, coming to me. I want to do it. It's a pretty layout, and it has quite a bit of focus to it. So my deck is always shuffled between readings. As you know, I'm just shuffling a little bit to seal the intention for you, and we are good to deal out your cards. Okay, Brandberg group, I sort of immediately feel what this is about. This is about not forcing it. As it stands, something is out of reach. And I will suggest to you, Brandberg, not to force the matter. It will come through, and there can be a bit of a challenge, but I'm really seeing that things are sort of frozen right now, and they're sort of off limits. So let's get into the details. Let's start weaving the combinations. Starting with the central line here in the middle, we've got the house, the mountain, and the coffin. Now, literally, this can mean going to a place abroad or taking time out, spending time on your own. This can be a very helpful message right now. Maybe it's a good idea to distance yourself from a certain situation, especially since we have a few challenging cards here. But like I said, it's also likely that, very likely, that something is out of reach right now. It's sort of off limits. There's no access to it. We have the mountain in the middle. The mountain is a card of, yes, a location abroad or a place that's farther away from where you are, but it's also associated with boundaries, and it also is associated with a sense of coldness and distance. And that comes through mainly because we have the coffin next to it. And so something is off limits, it is away. And the house actually adds to that, because the house is also a card of boundaries. It has to do with, privacy and personal space. And so it sounds like this thing is sort of boxed away right now, with the house and coffin and this energy of things being on hold or off limits right now. So I would say, Brandberg group, that you need to just sort of accept that for the time being. So as it stands, something is a little bit off limits, and another way to read these cards, or in addition to what we just suggested, it is a good idea to take time out and to distance yourself from a certain situation. Now, the central column, we have another really interesting combination here. We have the bear, mountain, and cross. Now, the bear and mountain is one of those specific combinations in my dictionary that suggests someone who is based abroad. And with the cross, you could be considering a different location or a foothold abroad, or perhaps you have matters that are tied to the situation abroad. And in the context of the central row, it's possible that you're feeling distance from this, and it's affecting you and it's burdening you, and you need to maybe find a way to understand what's going on in that place that feels off limits right now. Now, another way to read these cards is focusing on the mountain cross combination. Now, this is a very powerful set of cards. It has to do with an important chapter that is in process of unfolding for you, and whose importance you do not yet see. And the bear really adds to that sense of importance. Now, in the context of the central row, this idea suggests that things are still in the making. So this can feel like a time of mystery. It can feel like you're not sure how things are going to go. You really have to wait it out, but you can be sure that this is going to be an important matter for you. Let's continue building this diamond. Let's move to the square. We've got the square cards here. We've got the ring, the whip, the woman, and the tower. Now there's more layers being added. We have a relationship element that comes through. We have both the ring and the woman, and we have the whip. It's very clear to me, Brandberg group, that a relationship could end. We also have the whip, coffin, woman triplet here on the side of the diamond that is very clear about this ending, in addition to the ring and whip, which points to difficulties in a relationship, to say the least. Now, the interesting combination here is the tower, mountain, and whip. The tower and mountain is often associated with the deep past. And it can also be about this important chapter that is unfolding, because the cross and tower have that sense of mystery and guidance and destiny in common. So there can be some kind of turning point in your life that is in the making, but it's really hard for this to eclipse the importance of the relationship trouble that come through. So what could be at hand for you, Brandberg group, is that an issue pops back. It could be an issue from the past, or it could be a long-standing issue with this person. It pops back probably after a time of separation, and it does bring things out into the open, out into the surface. But I do think, Brandberg, that it can lead to an ending. And the reason I say that is because the coffin is on the right-hand side of the diamond. And so usually cards tend to unfold from left to right. We see here, we have the ring and tower. It can point to a long-standing relationship along with the house. You know, maybe this is someone you've known for a while, or maybe it's a family relation. And on this side, we have the whip, coffin, and woman. So it does point to the ending of a relationship. So this can be a pretty challenging set of cards. The whip and mountain is pretty challenging. It does bring that sense of confrontation. This also comes through with the bear and whip, where this combination would normally point to some kind of competition or someone like that. So there is clearly the idea of a confrontation that leads to an ending, or at least a parting for some time. And the ring, mountain, and woman refers to this connection that you have. It can be the same person that is based abroad, as we saw in the central column. But because of the square cards, it's pretty clear that there is this situation that comes up and that probably leads to an ending. So we see in the square cards the challenges that are about to come through. Now let's read the sides of the diamond. We have the bear, whip, and coffin. To me, this is a very clear combination that points to an ending. It probably comes after a confrontation, or like an argument, or, you know, this thing that comes up. And then the coffin, woman, and cross can point to the relationship that ends. The thing about the cross is that it suggests that you might want to let it go. Maybe it's painful, but it is time to let it go. It's like it's more or less out of your hands, and there is that sense of having to, you know, deal with this when the cross comes through. The cross, tower, and house can refer to a house or a home, or a long-standing connection with a certain maybe people, family connections, and also the idea of a foothold. So it is a long-standing connection with a certain place, maybe a place you grew up in, maybe a place you spent a lot of time in, or one that you've developed a long-term connection with. And that is also highlighted through the house, ring, and bear. It's like a very important relationship here. But you see, we have the past cards, or the earlier cards, in this side, and then we have the later cards on that side. This is the side that indicates the relationship, and this is a side that clearly indicates an ending. So it's very clear, Brandberg group, that you might want to prepare for an ending. There can be a situation that arises with a person. It can lead to a confrontation, which in turn leads to that distance that comes through. But I have to say, Brandberg group, that this is not something that you want to back away from or avoid. It seems to be necessary. It's also possible, Brandberg, that you uncover something about this person. Remember that in the central row, we saw this idea of things being off limits. But with the whip, there seems to be something that comes up as well. So after a time of mystery or distance, or maybe this person being out of touch and out of reach, there is an opportunity to reconnect. But at that point, things sort of boil over, the issue comes up, and it leads to, an argument of sorts. I have to say, Brandberg group, that it's also possible that the cards refer to someone being in trouble. It can refer to someone having health challenges. I'm inclined to think of parents. We have the tower, the bear, and the house. And we have the Tower and the Mountain, which points to the deep past. So I feel that it can be referring to a family relationship. We also have the House and the Bear. Classically, these two cards represent parents. And on top of that, we have the Ring. So I'm seeing a lot of clues to help us interpret these cards in reference to your family home, your parents. And in this context, there can be an issue coming up with either your mother or someone else in your home. And it can be about health challenges. So this is a situation, Brandberg, where you will need to probably come to help. This can feel a bit burdensome, but it seems that you will need to attend to this. And there can be challenges here in terms of health, the need to rest and, try to recover. So that can be a bit of a situation that shakes you up. So these are the possibilities that are ahead for you from these cards. This is a challenging reading, Brandberg. I want you to prepare for a possible confrontation or a possible need to help out in the home, probably the family home, because of some challenging situation, probably a health situation, but it can be another kind of challenge that comes through. I would say, Brandberg, that you want to be a little bit patient until this time is right for this to come up. And also, if someone had been out of touch, then it's very likely that they come back into the picture, albeit with some challenges that come through. So a bit of a challenge here for you ahead, Brandberg group. This is a key message. If there's one thing you can do, it is establishing strong boundaries. And I would also suggest that there are some things that you must not compromise, Brandberg. So think about what these might be, set some boundaries, and you'll be ready to take on the confrontation, to stand for what you believe in, and to stand your ground. And if it comes to a health situation with your home or with your family home, your parents' home, or some other kinds of challenges, then you're probably going to need to help out, even if it feels like you don't want to or it's burdensome and a bit heavy on your shoulders. So bear with that until you see it through. So let me know where you feel this could be figuring for you, Brandberg group. Very best of luck with it. Leave me your thoughts and comments. And until our next reading together, take very good care of yourself. And thank you so much for watching. Okay, key group, here we are with your cards and your lovely charm. This is actually one of my favorite keys. And I've got my own deck here, the Silhouettes deck. And we are going to do a 9-card portrait in order to discover what is the important message that you need to hear today. And my deck is always shuffled. I just like to shuffle a little bit before starting just to seal the intention. And we're ready to deal out your cards. Okay, key group, here we are with your 9-card portrait, and what really stands out to me is some kind of message, a communication that brings into the picture this man here. We see the man, dog, and star in this column. This looks to me as a really supportive person who comes into the play for you, key group. We have the bird right in the middle. It is the card of communication, and that's why I'm saying that this is going to be key for you. So it's very clear that there is some news ahead, so you might want to stay tuned for that. And it is possible that you're the one who needs to make the communication or to say something, to speak up about something. That is possible too, but we'll build the layers as we go. Another card I want to start off with is the house. That covers your first card here, the first position of the 9-card portrait. And the house is very much about your home life, home and family, your foundations, your sense of privacy, and that closer circle. So it seems to bring into the picture where this is happening for you. It can also sometimes represent the job, more precisely, specifically, your team on the job. So like these smaller circles. Now, with the bird and star, I read this as an announcement, and a really positive announcement. The bird and house points to some kind of news that comes through, and there's like several people who are aware of this within the group here, represented by the house. The star is one of the brightest cards of the deck. It's all about healing, faith, wish fulfillment, And so this news here is really, really positive. So you can look forward to this message coming through. Now, the moon, bird, and man seems to point to an invitation. The moon is by itself a card of proposals. And when we see it with the bird, which is a card of news and communication, it seems that you will be invited or there's a proposal that comes up. And with the man, it can be coming from him or it is related to him. And I have to put out the possibility, key group, that perhaps you're the one who makes a proposal to this person, or you approach him with some kind of news or communication or an invitation of sorts. In all cases, the idea of communicating, giving and taking, listening and speaking is the key message for you to take away from this reading, key group. Now, the house, stork, and man. Classically, this pair here, house and stork, is about moves, house moves and changes. It can also be things like renovations or things being shaken up within this environment represented by the house. And with the man here, it seems that he's in connection with the changes, or perhaps he's the one who shakes things up and brings about this news. It's also interesting that the stork T crosses the central column here, and the central column has a challenging card. It has the mouse. The mouse can point to issues of trust, or perhaps information was held back or it was incomplete. But what's really nice is that the stork shakes things up. So if there was news that was held back, you can look forward to it coming out and coming through. And actually, key group, you're not the only reading where I'm seeing this message. So there could be like a deeper or a broader kind of energy that's affecting this reading, that is bringing things out into the open for all of us tuning into this pick a card. In the second row, we have the whip, bird, and dog. Now, this is interesting. The whip and bird is typically associated with gossip. And with the dog here, there can be either this person who gossips or the gossip is about this person. But when I look at the dog and how it T-crosses the man, it does point to wonderful things coming up here. And I also feel that there is a sense of healing and forgiveness that can come through. So lots of communication, information exchanges happening for you, key group. This is really the key message that you want to tune into. So stay tuned to what's going on, ask questions, maybe get involved. Normally when I see gossip cards, I tend to get the snake and, other cards that tend to pull you away. So it communicates the idea of not gossiping and not getting involved with what's going on, just observing. But in this reading, I have to say that maybe you want to be part of this, you want to be part of the discussion, and really tune into it, even if it involves some gossip. In the bottom row, we have the moon, mouse, and star. This is a lovely combination because the star easily overcomes any challenges brought by the mouse. And the challenges that are normally brought by the mouse are smaller challenges. They tend to be associated with little glitches and speed bumps. However, if the mouse is not put in check early on, it can grow into a bigger deal. But obviously with the moon and star, we're looking at an easy resolution here. And when we look at the T-cross with the central column, bottom row, they T-cross at the mouse, we see that this news, as I suggested, really does deliver a kind of assurance, reassurance, some kind of healing. It's possible that because of the whip here, there was an issue and then it comes through and you're finally able to deal with it. So it feels really active in this sense, and it does require some participation on your part. Now, the house, whip, and moon, this is interesting because I'm seeing some kind of parallel between the whip and house and the stork and house. Of course, the whip is challenging in character by itself, but I'm seeing between the two here, what I'm seeing in common is this idea of shaking things up. So again, I feel it's really possible that something may have been bottling up, or there was this tension that was accumulating and it's just at a point where it's ready to come out. If this is on you, key group, then I would say it's time to bring it out into the open, to share and to communicate, no longer holding back. The moon is a lovely card because it softens the whip. And so it can reduce its severity or its challenge and really help with what's happening here. We're seeing the opening and the healing. And we read both of these columns in different contexts with the different T crosses here. So overall, key group, this is a strong message about all things communication, discussion, debates, negotiations. There is also gossip. You know, there is a lot of exchange that I'm seeing in here. And with the house, with the dog, with the man, this may well be about participating in the group, being a team player, having the tough conversations, you know, understanding what's going on, really getting involved. So I would say key group, make it a point to get involved. Don't hold back, don't stay back, you know, have the discussions, even if there are some, you know, some of them that involve locking horns, or maybe it's, you know, bringing something uncomfortable out into the open. All of this pays off because it heals the relationships. It brings about a sense of relief and openness. And so this is what I want you to tune into. Now, you may have considered this within a specific context, maybe the house as a group or like a closer environment means something specific to you. So by all means, tune into that. Or perhaps you had this reading guide you in a more general way. In all cases, key group, make it a point to ask questions, get involved, speak out, and communicate. And also not just yourself communicating, but also being a good listener. You know, really allowing for this exchange, even if some of them are a little bit on the tougher side. And that opens up the healing, the opportunities, and what I think are bringing closer together. So some very interesting and active cards for you, key group. Let me know where you feel this is figuring out for you. Leave me your thoughts and comments. I'm looking forward to them. And until our next reading together, as always, thank you so much for watching and take very good care of yourself. Okay, Tiger's Eye, here we are with your Stone and Titania's Fortune cards deck. And for your reading, I am going to do a large hourglass. My deck is always shuffled between readings, just shuffling a little bit to seal the intention, and we're good to deal out your cards. Okay, Tiger's Eye, here is your beautiful set of cards. We have a number of very beautiful messages here. We've got the flowers, the star, and the sun right in the middle. So right from the get-go, we are looking at some serious wish fulfillment for you. A wish materializes, something comes true for you, and they are very powerful cards for healing. So from the get-go, you can look forward to something very bright materializing for you, Tiger's Eye group. On top of that, we have the beautiful clover. We also have the beautiful key, and we have the fish in this lovely context, and the lovely moon. The child is also a very bright card, and these are somewhat challenging, but in the context here, they are very much lightened up. So just looking at this beautiful spread, Tiger's Eye, we can see that you are in for some major wish fulfillment, a major opportunity, could be financial, coming your way. This can be a lucky break that is ahead for you. In the top row, we have the snake. With the key and child, we're looking at a tricky new beginning, potentially, but you want to go about it in a discreet way, in an indirect way. There is this idea, perhaps, of charming the birds off the trees, especially with the flowers here. The snake, child, and moon, this can point to an offer that comes your way, Tiger's Eye. The thing about the snake in this context is that you want to examine it carefully and also not be quick to accept it. So I think you end up going for it. I mean, when I look at this diagonal here, I'm looking at a beautiful collaboration that is great for you work-wise, money-wise, and just about everything-wise. But still, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't take your time making the decision. I also think, Tiger's Eye, that you might want to keep it under your hat. So don't be quick to share all of this wonderful stuff that is coming to you so quickly. First, maybe move into this new beginning and then sort of open up about it. You have a lot of bright energies coming your way, a lot of luck, and maybe it's not a great idea to flaunt it. You know what I mean? So sort of just being discreet about all of this great luck coming your way. The child and moon is definitely a proposal or an invitation. It's also a new phase, by extension with the phases of the moon here and the child. So a beautiful turning of the page for you, Tiger's Eye, and a beautiful new opportunity, new chapter coming your way. Just move in slowly, gradually, and look ahead before you move forward. In the bottom row, we have the opposite of the snake. We have like the scythe, which is a much sharper energy. The snake is roundabout and discreet. The scythe is loud and direct. And with the rider, fish, and clover, this is a wonderful opportunity for money. Money is coming your way, offers are coming your way, other kinds of material and practical opportunities are coming your way. It's also really good advice to pursue certain financial goals. You might want to take a chance on some things. I say that because we've got the clover and these cards here. So be careful with this kind of advice, Tiger's Eye. I offer it because the cards are really straightforward about it, but still it doesn't mean that, you throw all caution to the wind. You might want to pursue your goals a bit more aggressively. Have faith in yourself. That's another key message. The star in the middle, the key at the top, all of these bright cards, you have a lot of good luck coming your way, and you also need to have a lot of faith in yourself. So go after these goals, Tiger's Eye. The key and scythe. This is a breakthrough. I think you are seeing things very clearly. There is that sense of brilliance. There is also the idea of breaking through into a solution. And it works really well with your central row here. Lots of clarity, insight, vision, light, all coming through. Beautiful cards. The snake and rider is another message for taking the indirect route. So you get an offer suddenly, or it's maybe the decision that you want to, back up with yourself sharply. But I think when it comes to actually taking the steps and moving forward, the snake comes in to temper your momentum, and it asks you to take it step by step, but also possibly indirectly. Maybe there is something that you need to manage, or someone that you need to manage, or again, some things that you need to keep to yourself. The child and fish, clearly a new opportunity, just like we saw in the bottom row. And then the moon and clover is also an offer. Very, very lucky offer. Very beautiful cards. Really, anyone would desire such a spread, Tiger's Eye, for any context in life. So clearly you're in for a lot of luck, a lot of wish fulfillment, and a lot of wonderful things happening. So I would say really just embrace that and very much have faith in yourself and trust that things are unfolding for you. Maybe you're waiting on something, maybe you're hoping something to materialize. Well, you know what? I think it's going to materialize. There's a lot of reasons in this spread to see that. But let's say that it doesn't. I still think that there could be a blessing in disguise. There could be a good reason why not. There is a lot of luck kind of energies, this kind of protective energy is at play for you. So really trust with how things are going with you. And I'm 100% sure they're going to go really, really well. Now, looking at the mini portraits here, the one on the left, I think, is the trickiest one because we've got the flowers between the scythe and the snake. And the flowers is a very bright card. It is all about healing and optimism. It's also great for celebrations and festivities and really just enjoying life. But the scythe and snake by themselves as a pair would really point to a snake bite, in a metaphorical sense, and suggest that there is like some kind of harm that is done, or someone has a biting tongue, if you know what I mean. But with the flowers, this is almost like neutralized. So this is interesting, Tiger's Eye. Perhaps there is someone or some kind of negative energy that is directed at you, but I really feel that you're able to neutralize it because of all of these beautiful cards and the flowers in here. And also, it doesn't get to you. You know what I mean? It's almost as though you don't see it. In another sense, it's also possible that you release yourself from someone whom I think is fake, someone who is the type who flatters you in your face and talks behind you, behind your back. And I feel that you're able to, if that's the case, if that's the scenario for you, I feel that you're able to really move on from this. And I mean, like, just as though it's not even getting to you. It's certainly also good advice to move away from negative people, sharp-tongued people, people who are just, just really not aligned with the energies that you're experiencing right now. So take this as an encouragement and to move on from anything that is negative. It's really not fitting with the kind of vortex and the kinds of beautiful things that you're attracting right now. The key flowers and rider is very much an idea of coming back into play. You have a renewed sense of energy. You have a lot of momentum. It's possible that if you were feeling unwell, stressed, or under the weather, or sort of out of action, you definitely come back into action now. It's also a beautiful combination for finding solutions and very much thinking outside the box, very clearly coming through the key and flowers. Really come up with creative solutions and also commit to your uniqueness. So the rider being about goals and the path ahead and moving forward, with something like the key and flowers, very much telling you to just commit to who you are, your uniqueness, and don't worry about it. Just like we saw here, if there are going to be people who criticize you, or who don't resonate with your creativity or your sense of uniqueness, this spread really gives you permission to just release them and just really pursue what makes you happy. In the central mini portrait, we have the beautiful star. So this is going to be an all-around healing card. I actually like to see the snake and fish together because even though the snake is typically quite challenging, with the fish, I like it because it points to someone who's really clever with money. And you might want to focus on your money skills. Also be discreet about your money. Don't be too trusting of investments or advice that you get. Be sharp, do your homework, and get second opinions. Don't be quick to make decisions about your money. Really manage it carefully, and I would say even selfishly, and that is fine. With the star, this is an all-around wish fulfillment combination. It's also likely that you're getting this new opportunity that is tied to the fish child here. But again, the snake really asks you to be discreet about it. And so I am thinking that perhaps you're still, experiencing all of this goodness for yourself before you actually share it. So be discreet about that. And finally, another way we can look at this triplet is you get this offer, don't be quick to, accept it or to move forward with it. Just take it step by step and calculate your steps ahead. And the rider, star, and child very clearly suggest that you're going to move into this new beginning. This is a beautiful new opportunity. It's pretty clear to me that you're going to move forward, even though more slowly or with foresight. And finally, in the right-hand side mini portrait, it's also very, very bright because it has the sun. And just like the star, the sun is one of those all-around happy, wish-fulfilling cards. We've got the child, sun, and clover, very blessed for this new beginning, just like we saw in here. And the beautiful fish, sun, and moon. Now, what's beautiful is that the sun and moon is actually a combination of love, normally, because the sun is associated with the archetypal masculine and the moon is associated with the archetypal feminine. So when they come together, it's like an alchemy, and it usually points to love. But with the fish, which tends to be associated with, things like work, money, income, the sun and moon is probably more about a collaboration. So again, this idea of an offer and taking it up and engaging in it. It is a really, really beautiful spread here. So again, Tiger's Eye, I suggest that you have faith in yourself, in your ability to heal, in your ability to attract all of this good and this abundance, and really just accepting it and embracing it for yourself. And if there are people who are critical of your uniqueness or your creativity, I think you will easily be able to put them behind you. It's really nice to see these two challenging cards on the left-hand side here, because they tend to be, this side tends to be associated with the earlier parts of the reading and the right side with the futuremost. So we see this progression where you're able to let go from anyone who's critical, or, and move into embracing your good and your abundance. So overall, a very, very beautiful spread here, Tiger's Eye. Wish fulfillment, faith in yourself, healing, abundance, financial success, I would say as well. Just again, remember the discretion part and moving in step by step, not being too quick to embrace anything, just really having foresight, and all of it leads to amazing success. So a wonderful message for you, Tiger's Eye. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts or where this is figuring for you. I'm really looking forward to them. And until our next reading together, as always, thank you so much for watching, and take very good care of yourself.